So we know that there's more to do. We also know that women achieve quota more than men, 86% compared to 78. When they lead teams, they achieve it 94% compared to 91, and they're more likely to close a deal. So why isn't this happening? Because the sense is there. I think the desire is there. I think people want this to happen. My friend Roderick, you say hope is not a strategy. We need more, we need better, and we can be better. So if I can open up with questions, Gary, and I'd love to come to you first. And I'll mention in 2016, you talked about the fact that inclusion needs to be a given. And you were talking about the Olympics, that 45% of women were making up the competitors. And you said that it was because it wasn't up for conversation. It wasn't a debate. It just had to happen. During your tenure as CEO, you made incredible things happen at 3. How did you go about doing it? Why don't more companies achieve it? And what's the role of the CEO in making it happen?
Yeah, I don't think I achieved as much as I would have liked, to be honest. I honestly felt S3 was a meritocratic company, okay, because I made it to the top. There were female leaders, there were people from different ethnicities. And then we did some research and looked at the data, and basically based on the feedback we were getting from our staff, based on the research we put into it, most people in the business didn't feel it was a meritocratic environment. And it shocked me, actually. It was like, whoa, hold on. And if you look at the male and female scenario, we looked at the sort of intake of women in our company, and it was 50-50 at trainee level. When you go up one level, you saw the gap maybe 55-45 in men. You go up another level, it was 60-40. You go up another level, 70-40, 70-30, and then 80-20. And we started to sort of think, well, what are we doing wrong? And I think, in summary, I think the culture that we had in the business didn't really support the environment that we wanted. And we felt we were doing all the right things, but all the feedback on the culture wasn't spot on. It was a very male-dominated, laddish culture. And when I mean laddish, it was like, bang the drums, bang your chest. Those who shout the loudest will get the best opportunity. And we've seen the stats around men and women, right? If a male thinks he can do a job and he can do the job 20% of the time, he'll put his hand up and says, I can do it. While a woman would be the opposite, right? They want to be sure that they can do it. So, and if you're in a culture where the louder you shout, the more opportunities you get, then the female sitting there is going to go, whoa, this is not right for me.
That can also be true for certain ethnicities. I know
this is it. It's not only females, right? If you're from a different religious, if you're not into the drinking culture, if you're not into sort of, banging the drums, or if you're a female and it's not something you feel comfortable with, if you're a man, you don't feel comfortable, if you're from a certain type, so it was something we looked at and we think we needed to change. But to change a culture of a business, you can't do that overnight. So it was a long, and it still is a long journey, right? And we tried to introduce some changes around the culture, around the incentives, about the environment, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And so over time, people in the company started to see they're serious at the top. They do want to make a difference. We had senior people in the business that had to leave because they weren't adapting to the changes. And so slowly and surely, we were starting to see the change. But like anything, it takes time. If that was the last 2 years of my focus, it's going to take another 5 to 8 years to really see the benefit of that. And that's on the basis that everybody else in the business is accepting the challenges that we have. And the biggest issue I had in the business is what the middle management, which consists of the biggest part of the leadership team, didn't understand there was a problem, didn't accept that there was a problem, and didn't basically were in denial, and basically said, oh, it's not true. Men, women are treated equally. I'm not racist. I'm not this. And the facts didn't back it up, right? Not that they were consciously being racist. It's unconsciously they were doing things and creating an environment that people of different ethnicity or gender didn't feel comfortable. Yeah. So although we did a lot of work, I think we're still on a journey. Still on a journey.